Hello, hello, and welcome to the Gothic Jungle. As you saw by today's intro, today we are exploring the New York Botanical Gardens Orchid show this year. I'm so excited. As you can see, again by the intro, it is just absolutely gorgeous here. And this is the biggest bird of paradise I have ever seen. But I am just so excited. I've never been to a huge botanical garden like this before, and I'm just so excited to just go through it with you all. Hopefully kind of give you guys a tour as if you were there in person by, again, seeing all these different explanations that give the plants more depth and just pointing out some of my favorites. So please relax, enjoy the music I've picked out for today, and let's look at some orchids. I just love all of the different patterns that orchids come in. I really didn't know much about them before coming to the show. I almost bought one after the show, but I held back. But I really felt like I was in a jungle, and it was just such an amazing experience seeing all these massive plants that are similar to many of the houseplants that I see both in my collection and in others, especially this anthurium. This and then another one that we see down the road is the biggest anthurium I have ever seen in person, and I'm sure there are bigger ones online, but this was just absolutely insane to me that they can even get this big. And I mean, they tried to fit plants in every possible corner and tree everywhere in this exhibit. There is no space wasted, and it's always fun to find kind of some hidden flowers, especially like this purple orchid right here. This is actually on top of the overarching tree trunk, so it's a little fun scavenger hunt too, to find different plants that you might not have seen before. And of course, I'm super jealous of this monstera. I know it's not the biggest one I've seen. I know, it's crazy, but I just love all the fenestrations, and I hope my plant can someday at least look half as good as this. And it's really cool, again, to see how the specific design of the show shows how they mimic life in the wild. You see this little bee in here, that was a fun little friend to find. But yeah, they're growing up the trees, especially that's really cool to see with all the different monsteras. I believe that's Monstera adansonii growing up that tree, and there's some anthuriums in the back there. But it's just so cool that they have like these giant trees, especially this gorgeous palm right here, in these conservatories. It blew my mind. And then you have all the aerial roots hanging down, and then there's a little pond here. So that was a nice touch too. And then I just want to highlight on these anthuriums in the back again, because wow, I really want one of those, because the red, they come in red, and then they're super dark. These leaves are really cool. I was about to show you a different plant, but then these caught my eye with the little marks. But this is apparently a fake bird of paradise, but it just looks so cool. I love how funky plants can get. Me getting excited about anthurium seems to be a bit of a theme here, but just look at these huge, massive, dark leaves. If that doesn't scream Gothic Jungle, I don't know what does. But these are massive! Look at how cool they look. Ah! And then I just love this design. If I could just have this little jungle picture, like on a little print that I could put in my room or something, I thought it was very pretty. And of course, I love, learning about the different layers of the jungle and just fun facts in general, but I always think they're so pretty to look at. Moving into a different part of the conservatory, those black flowers, also very gorgeous, but I really love that they have some water features in here too. It gets really hot in here, obviously, so it's nice to have that to kind of cool off, and I love looking at the little lily pads. That statue in the background is now my phone background, and it will be for a while, but look at the little flower that it produced. It's so cute. I think this room might have been my favorite out of the whole thing, even though it wasn't necessarily super orchid theme. These orchids were really cool though. You want to know why? Because they smell like roses. And I didn't smell all the flowers there. This is a bigger one that we saw. But I thought that was so cool and so unique that it smelled like a different flower entirely. Yeah. And then, oh, more Orchid Theriums. These ones were cool because they were above. Like, you had to go up some steps and go into a balcony to see these. But look at the detail in the veins of this orchid. That one's super, super cool. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of, like, pink and yellow. Look at how sick that is that a flower could produce that. And then, of course, I loved these, like, rich colors. The middle of it reminded me of orchid vanices, obviously. Orchid vanices. But I didn't know that they existed until relatively recently. But I just think they're so cool, especially that they took after such a, like, gorgeous plant and they hide themselves really, really well. But I really just wanted to show off all of the different colors that I saw here. And then I also, besides loving the color combination of that orchid, wanted to point out the Euphorbia lactea because this is a cactus that has been on my wish list for a very, very long time because it's just so creepy and ghostly and gothically, and I bought it, of course, not there, but somewhere else. And then this is the biggest monstera I have ever seen in my life, so of course I had to include that. But keep a lookout in my future videos for the Euphorbia lactea. But here is the grand finale of the orchid show with this giant levitating lady with all of there were orchids cascading down the back, a bunch of the air plants like in her dress. It was so cool, and there's a couple other exhibits coming up, or not exhibits, but mannequins coming up, and it was just insane. You can read the little inspiration behind there right here, but oh my gosh, it was such a cool way to end the show. And you have all these like funky mannequins, like all of the outfits are made from orchids or like paper from flowers or something like that. Again, I'll display the different descriptions here, not for all of them, but just for a couple of them. But then they, of course, they match the orchids around it to the mannequins. There's a water feature with this one as a lily pad. I'm not quite sure which one was my favorite here, but they were just all so cool. Actually, this one, I loved the shoes right there. I think those are the coolest. Well, I wasn't the biggest fan of the outfit. I thought the shoes were the coolest part. And then this was the archway to kind of lead you off and say goodbye from the show, and it was just super cool. Except then we get these little weird mannequins with like animal heads on them. I don't know how I felt about them. A little weird, but nonetheless still very artistically unique. So enjoy these weird little guys as we come to the end of the show. Again, I really just wanted to point out here the amount of detail and attention that went into this whole exhibit here. I mean, they really stuffed this archway with a million different kinds of plants that were just so cool to pay attention to and see as the last thing from the orchid show. I had a fantastic time, and this was such an amazing experience. I can't wait to come back and see what else they display for their next show. But of course, this is not the end of the video. We got more to do. Why? Because we have to go to the flower and coffee shop, Remy 43, to get a super cool, super awesome, well, first of all, get a plant, obviously. You thought I was gonna go to an orchid show? You thought I was gonna go to a botanical garden and not get a plant? crazy. How dare you think that of me? Anyways, this is a beautiful coffee shop. So we being me and my sister went here and got these rose lattes. Look at that latte art. That's real rose petals right there. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so cool? Oh my gosh, I was so excited. It was almost too pretty to drink, but I loved it, and I highly recommend checking that out if you're in New York. And now on to the final segment of our lovely show, everything that I bought. So this is an Oxalis triangularis. I think that's how you say it. But I got this one at the New York Botanical Garden because I have had my eye on one of these for a while, and I saw a smaller one for more expensive than what I got here, so I feel like I kind of got a bit of a steal. And of course I gotta get a little pot with it, so I got a cute little pot. Hold on, let me move that out of the way, and then boom, cute pot with little feet. And the lady at the checkout complimented my pot choice, so I think the pairing goes well. And look at that, it fits perfectly in there. So I got another plant off my wish list, absolutely gorgeous. But wait, there's more. This is the one that I got at Remy 43 because I had never seen this plant before. It was so cool. The lady that sold it to me said it was a chocolate soldier, but when I looked it up, it looked more like the cinnamon variant of whatever. I'm not sure if it's technically a succulent or a cactus. As you could tell, I'll probably be picking out some little things that come with it, or that fell off of it. But this is such a cool plant, and I had never, like I just said, I mean, I'd never seen anything like this before in my life, so obviously I had to add it to my collection. I mean, what was I gonna do? Walk out of there with no plants? Crazy. Yeah, but I'm super excited to have both of those plants as a part of my collection and as kind of a memory keepsake. And then of course, because my sister saw my first video where I commented on the fact that I don't really like ficuses, she's the one who came with me to the botanical garden. We had to stop by the plant store that she got stuff from, and of course I had to get more posters. So obviously I got the Monstera, which I'm having so much trouble showing you right now because I don't want to show my face, but I'm trying to show you how pretty the poster is. And then I got this beautiful dark plants poster, because obviously it's the Gothic jungle, guys. You think I'm not gonna get dark plants? Anyways, that one is also a gorgeous addition to the collection of my plant decor. And then last but not least, I also got this pin that you can't really read on camera probably. It says, "Please ask me about my plants," because I would like to add it to a goth jacket that I have in the making, which hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed coming along this tour with me, and I will see you guys soon.